Welcome to the Galvanize with Gavin podcast. This is your host, baseball player and entrepreneur, Gavin Johns. This podcast will empower you to reach your fullest potential in life. Inspirational stories, keys to success, and practical methods to overcome life's challenges will be revealed. I encourage you to be the light in the lightning and spark a positive change in the world today. How's everyone doing? Galvanize with Gavin. Here with a very special guest. So this is three-time OVC Player of the Year. Has played in multiple regionals, multiple first-team all-leagues, played in a super regional. He's drafted by the Washington Nationals, five-tool player all around. And so I'm going to list some of his records. Probably not going to get to all of them because he's got so many, but wanted to do the due diligence. So the most at-bats in Ohio Valley Conference history for season and career, most hits in OVC career, and most total bases in OVC career, 642. Most runs batted in Ohio Valley Conference career, 247. Most doubles Ohio Valley Conference career was 74. We got more. And at the top of the list for runs scored and home runs as well. Plenty more awards and more coming. But thanks for coming on, my man. We got Kevin Strohschein, my brother Kevin. How we doing, brother?
Good. How's everybody doing? Happy to be here.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time. So I guess just to give everyone a little, background to you and I, personal relationship, obviously we played together at Tennessee Tech, and just developed a great relationship, and I'm super thankful for it. Kevin has just a great work ethic, just a great person as well. And, we've been able to learn a lot from each other, just in the batting cage, talking off the field, just talking about life. And we we went on a really fun fishing trip we'll get into to tell everyone about it. And just a lot of other things that we'll get into with these questions here. But nonetheless, I'm super thankful that God put us in each other's lives, and I'm excited for what's ahead in store for Kevin's future. So thanks for coming on, brother.
Likewise, happy to be here.
Yes, sir. So the first question, we'll just get right into it here. So Kevin, man, it's been a journey so far. For those who don't know, Kevin has faced a lot of adversity in his career so far, and he's overcame a lot of challenges, and I'm super inspired by his story. He had a significant injury, just like myself, with Tommy John. He's battled a lot of other things, and just overcame them. Just adversity after adversity, just kept crushing it and kept moving on, man. And a lot of highlights, like I said. If you had to pick one moment or memory that stands out the most for you, what would it be and why, would you say, so far in your life or in your baseball career?
In my baseball career, I would say winning the regional in 2018. Feels like individual stuff can kind of, it just doesn't mean the same thing to me as a team thing that, everybody worked toward, not just you. It just felt better when everybody gets to share the success than, anything else really, to me.
Amen. Yeah, definitely. That's, for everyone listening, that is one thing I've really appreciate and respect from Kevin is just his humility and his just selflessness for the team. He's all in for the team. And so just to build off that, that humility and that selflessness, where did that come from? And And what of those things kind of taught you, things that you've learned from baseball that you can apply to life, would you say?
I would like to think it comes from my faith, in Jesus. Um, the Bible's pretty clear about, not letting you're not everything. It's Jesus that's everything. It's other people and your love for other people that's everything. So I would like to think, if you think I'm humble or whatever, I'd like to think it comes from that. And what was the other question?
Just maybe, with the humble and the selflessness, you already kind of alluded to it, but um, from baseball, how does that carry over into life?
Oh, into life. I think when you aren't constantly thinking about yourself, it can help you, interact with others, help others. Um, like go the extra mile for somebody that maybe needs something. Because you're not just all focused on what you need or what you want, or praising yourself because you're focused on other things. There's a lot of other things in life than just revolving around you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Amen. Those are really great answers, and you live up to every one of those that you explained. I know you don't like talking about yourself, so I'll do the talking about you for you. But so next question I wanted to ask. You talked about going the extra mile. In my career at Tennessee Tech, um, I've seen you go the extra mile. Putting in the work, putting in the hours in the cage. I know, you make the game look easy when you're playing on the field, but you know, I know it is, a result of, the hard work that you put in and day out. It doesn't happen by mistake. So I wanted to ask, where does that work ethic come from for you, Kevin?
Well, first off, I mean, you might be the only guy I've ever played with that outworked me. So I got in there.
How
He
about that?
belongs there too if he's listening. But um,
Long shout out, Bill.
yeah, shout out Bill. Uh, I think there's people that I think can go out there and do that. Just not do anything. You hear about just those freaks. But I think if you are one of those guys, you probably know it. And I know I'm not one of those guys. Like I gotta put in the work. If because I was in high school, I was pretty skinny kid. I didn't get all the offers I wanted and all that kind of stuff. I had to get in the weight room. Like that just expanded my whole
Yeah,
what kind of game I had when I got in the weight room. So I felt like I get to college and I'm like, well, I had to work to get here. So I mean, I'm gonna keep working, and because if I stop working, everything just goes off tracks for me so quick. Even like this off season for me in baseball, I take off 3 months, which I I should have done. I still think I
yeah.
should have done. But it's like the first day back in the cage, I'm like, I think I whiffed on the first front toss. I'm like, dang, like
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. So with that, I wanted to ask, what motivates you to succeed in baseball and in life?
what motivates me? Well, I mean, going back to it, Jesus motivates me to be the best man I can become in life, and then in baseball, well, same answer really, but that and it's just something I've always wanted to do. Even growing up as a little kid, I running around. I was 4 years old, just making my dad feed the tea for me or throw balls back to him or whatever. Uh, so it's just I don't really know what else to do. It's like I'm gonna give my best shot at this, and then if this doesn't work, I'll figure something else out, or maybe even stay in baseball. I don't really know, but right now I'm focused on playing in the Washington Nationals or whoever.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that mindset, has taken you to great heights so far, and it's going to keep taking you to great heights. Like I keep saying, it's just the beginning for you, Kev. I really believe that. Um, So we talked about it a little bit earlier about how you have faced adversity and you've overcome it. This is an inspirational podcast that inspires people to keep going in whatever they're doing. I wanted to ask, how has overcoming adversity in your life helped shaped you as a person?
Um, I think, well, overcoming adversity, there's different levels of adversity. Like, for me, like maybe the toughest things I have to overcome is, Tommy John surgery, or I had surgery on my thumb in Pro Bowl, or like I didn't have the sophomore year I wanted to have after my freshman year and stuff like that. Um, and you like, so I try to look at it like, if this is my adversity, think about people don't even have food, don't even have water. It's like this should be nothing. Like, so I try to put it in perspective, like, and I can be really hard on myself when things aren't going my way on the field or whatever. And it's like I gotta put it in perspective that maybe this isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. That perspective piece is huge, because we all have tough days on the diamond, or, for people who are in their career, tough days at work, whatever it may be. But when you put it in perspective, things could be a lot worse. So that's great. I'm glad you added that. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
Um, so my next question, um, what is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self, would you say?
Um, I would say it seems like when I get my expectations out of whack at any time, things go sideways for me. So um, just keeping my head down and working without really putting so much pressure on myself. Like
Yeah.
even like I wanted to have a big senior year of high school. I wrote on a little card like some ridiculous numbers I wanted to have. Well, after 5 games and you're not coming close, it's like it already feels like a failure, because like it's gonna be tough to make those. Sophomore year, same kind of thing. I go play summer ball. In that same sophomore year, same kind of thing. Where it's like I want to make all this stuff happen, and sometimes you just gotta work as hard as you can and trust it's gonna happen.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think a lot of people listening to this podcast will take a lot out of that as well. There's people of all ages and backgrounds that listen to this podcast. But as I always say, everyone, can learn something from anybody. And so that's great advice. That's great advice. Um, to build off that, um, what piece of advice, what is the best piece of advice that a coach or mentor has told you?
Oof. Man, that's tough. Um, I have a lot of. I'm trying to think of Coach Braga stuff. He told me a lot of stuff. I have a lot of respect for Coach Braga.
Yeah,
Shout out Coach Braga for coming back. I'm pumped about that.
sure.
Um, I can't think of a specific like word, but just how much he valued work. I would say I can't think of like a specific quote from him telling me everything, but just
Yeah,
valued work. The work that you put in, I felt like that kind of shaped me. For like shape the work ethic that we were talking about
yeah.
is how much he stressed. Like, well, we have practice from, I don't know, I think it was like 1:45 to 5.
Mm,
Well, if all these other guys are getting in 3.5 hours of work, 3 hours 20 3 hours 20 minutes of work or whatever, well, if I want to play, maybe I have to work more than that. Maybe I have to stay after. Maybe I have to come on, my class breaks or whatever. So it's like that. I thought that was kind of the biggest thing to take away from it, and not just doing what everybody else is doing. And people, I've had to learn to give myself a rest sometimes too, and stuff like that. But like just the attitude of it, I thought was something I took away.
yeah. No, I love that. I love that. It's all about the work, and it makes it the accomplishments or whatnot, the team wins feel that much better, when everyone's putting in that work, those hard fought wins.
100%.
Yeah, it makes it just that much more meaningful. That's the Tennessee Tech way, the blue collar way. Nothing's hand, nothing's
It's,
handed to us. We got to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
it's not given down there.
No, sir.
You gotta go.
So that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, it's so true. That's so true. That's why I felt so comfortable at Tennessee Tech, because that's how I'd grown up, and when other people around you are putting in that work, like you said, Will Long, Jason Hinchman this year, Ed, there's so many guys there. That there's a bunch more than I named, but it motivates you as well. It's like, oh man, I got to put in more work.
Funny story, actually. I don't, I haven't even said this that much, but I
Yeah.
thought the reasons I went to Tennessee Tech over some other maybe comparable schools of,
Yeah.
maybe even a little bigger is I'm on a visit there, and I'd gone to a few visits or whatever. I'm sure you did too, and
Yeah.
a lot of people listening to this that played sports did too. So you know what it's like. And I'm on a visit. I've gone to visit other schools. I'll go to visits to other schools, and you'd be walking around the facility, nobody there. Coaches just walking you through. Here's a locker room. Here's all this stuff. And it's like it's like a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm walking through, and I think it's like AJ or Alex Jr., Travis Moss. I think Ryan Flick might have been there. And like they're hitting and they're working out in this little lab. Or called it the lab. It's like a little weight room that used to be there. And I was like, man, that's like a culture I want to be in. Like I feel like I can thrive playing with guys like a similar mindset. Or even if I didn't have it at the time, I kind of did. I was like, I want to work like these guys.
Mm. Mm. That's good. That's good. Definitely. Definitely. So, in regards to Tennessee Tech, how has Tennessee Tech prepared you for the real world?
Um, just that kind of same thing we were talking about. Like you go to a bigger school. I think you walk out and it's like upper deckers and all that kind of stuff. Fields, ridiculous and all this other kind of stuff, and everything. You got all kinds of stuff there, and sometimes I think you can get complacent with that.
Mm.
And I think at Tech, I just if whatever was going on, I would just adapt to it. It was like I'll go hit in the cages. I don't even care if I don't need cages. I'll hit it into a wall. I don't, it's like if if L screen's broken, I'll hit it into a wall. I don't care. It's like not that we don't have nice facilities. I'm not trashing our facilities or anything like that. But I thought just that was what prepared me for the real world. Is just making do. You don't have millions of dollar budget.
Yep. Yep.
It doesn't affect how I'm going to play. It doesn't affect how anybody's going to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I wanted to kind of vert a little bit from what we've talking about the topics. I wanted to ask. You touched on it a little bit earlier. I wanted to ask what God has been teaching you lately. I know recently you went to the Passion Conference.
Right.
We're empowered there. Tim Tebow was speaking. You were telling me there's a lot of great events. Yeah, just as a whole, I guess, what has God been teaching you lately? Would you say?
I would say there was a speaker there. Might have been, I can't remember what his name was, but he had a big speech about basically like he broke it down in numbers and like logically you can figure that some of this is going on, but he broke it down in like how much is like is almost half the world has no concept of like even who Jesus is. So like somebody has to go tell them. Or even people here don't even like they might not even know. So
Yeah.
like somebody has to go tell them. And I feel like sometimes I can just kind of stick to myself. I get scared of they're gonna think I'm weird, or if I bring it up. It's like maybe just go for it. Talk to them. Who cares if they think I'm weird? Like, this is more important than somebody liking me. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's huge. That's huge. And we're all in it together, and it's out of love, like you said, because of Jesus's love for us, dying on the cross, that we want to share that good news with everyone and what he's done in our life. We'd be doing a disservice to others if we didn't share that. So that's awesome. That's powerful. That's powerful. Thanks for sharing that. So I got a couple more questions before we wrap up. It's been awesome, by the way. It's been awesome. I hope you've been enjoying as much as I have. Sure. So I wanted to ask, outside of baseball, I already know, some of these answers, but I wanted, the audience to kind of get more behind the scenes of Kevin Strohschein. Outside of baseball, what are some of your hobbies and passions? What do you enjoy doing?
Well, for work right now, or it's kind of a job. I give lessons, so it's kind of baseball.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I need some money or whatever, but I think I get more out of it. That, like, I'm helping people that want to be helped. Want to make their they want to make their middle school team. They want to do all that kind of stuff, and I get some satisfaction out of that. So that's kind of a hobby out of mine. Like, hobbies outside of that is I like to go fish. I'm not very successful, honestly. I'll drive out 45 minutes.
I don't know. You've been sending me some big pictures, some pictures of fish. I don't know if that's
I'm
true.
better this year. I won't lie. I found some better spots. Um, yeah, so that's something I like to do. I'm a huge college football fan, as you can see. Go Dogs. I love watching that on Saturdays. Man, I barely move usually. I'll work out before I start or whatever, and then I just sit there and watch it.
Awesome.
Those are probably my two things. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. So, that's actually a perfect segue. I wanted to briefly share about this fishing story that we had. At least the first half of it, where we definitely overcame some
Oh,
adversity.
that was mercy right there. Yeah, I was deep there.
Yeah, so maybe if you wouldn't
I got stopped.
if you wouldn't mind just setting the stage and sharing a little bit about that, and maybe we can kind of help each other tell the story. I think people would get a kick out of that and inspire them as well.
All right, so it's all my fault.
No.
I was like, all right, Gav, you were like, let's go fishing. You're want to get into fishing. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go for bass. We're gonna some muskie.
Tell them how big muskie are.
Dude, they're like, I can't even
40 pounds.
Dude, they're massive. And they're super rare. Like, if you Google it's like the fish everybody wants to catch. So I was, all right. I think I heard about some spots from some local fishermen I've been talking to, and so we're gonna drive out to, like, middle of nowhere. I think it's technically Sparta, but I mean it's like nothing near it. Like, and then we drive there, and we're just looking on our phones on Google Maps, like, just looking for water. Like, all right, we're just gonna try to walk. There's a trail. We're just gonna walk there. So we start walking, and eventually we just go off the trail because we were like, I think I hear water. So we go off the trail. We get down there, and we didn't catch muskie. We caught some fish though.
We did, but what about the mountain that we climbed to get there?
I was about to get that. So then we get done, and we hopped in the water. It was actually really fun. It was super cool while we were down.
We did. How many fish did we catch? How many fish did we catch when we were down?
15, 20. They're all
small. They're small.
They're small.
Yeah.
There was one that was it was a pretty good sized fish. I've actually been meaning to text you to let me get that fish because it's the best smallmouth I got. But yeah, then we hop in the water and stuff, having a great time.
And it's raining.
It's raining, and
sun's going down. Sun's going down.
Sun's going down, and we're like, all right. We're looking on Google Maps and we're
Yeah.
like, looks shorter to go up that mountain, honestly. Like, all right, let's go for it. It's like
Great.
that's, and I mean, it's huge, and like there's like wet leaves, and so we go for it. We then
Did
up to the
we
top of the
want
mountain.
to
I fell down like I fell down like rolled like
yeah, I felt too.
yeah, you fell. Get to the top. I'm wearing shorts.
Wait, bear cave, the bear cave, or what we thought might be a bear cave.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You had to pull me up. If you would get up, I couldn't get up there. Like up like little ledges and stuff. I remember there was one. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. You can go, but I'll sleep here. I don't know. And you pulled me up. That was
Oh my goodness.
I walked through like a half mile of burrs. Like
Oh,
legs are red. I mean, just like scraped to all kinds of scrapes. And then we walk. Let's see.
we called Robbie. We called Ethan
Oh,
Roberts.
because he's from Sparta. Trying to get him to pick us up, and then as I think he said he's going to be there in a while, and then so we walk. How far do you think we walked after them birds? Like 2 miles, 3 miles?
Yeah, a couple miles at least.
And then we run into this guy.
Hitchhiked. He was on his front porch.
Like, did we knock on his door, or did he see us out there?
Yeah, well, we were walking. I was like, let's just walk the rest of the way. And you're like, Gab, like someone's got to be able to give us a ride because it was still like a few miles away. And we saw the guy on his front porch and he was nice enough to give us a ride. But man,
It's an adventure.
Yeah. So that's the fishing story.
Now I try to go to the well paved roads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't get on Google Maps and be like, oh, I can probably walk there.
Oh man, yeah, I slept good that night, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was exhausted I've been. Like, I think you had a Cliff Bar or something. Like, if you didn't give me that Cliff,
a PB&J, I think it was or Cliff Bar, something like that.
Still be laying out there.
Oh my goodness! Did you end up catching the muskie? Did you end up going to another spot? No, not yet.
I've given up on that unless I get like a guide or something.
Yeah. Maybe on the bucket list though.
I was on. Yeah, you know what? I actually had a guided trip paid for last year. I think it was on Valentine's Day. It wasn't with a girl, but it was on Valentine's Day, and so in Cookeville.
Oh, in Cookeville, nice.
Yeah. Oh, but we scheduled it way out. Me and this muskie guy. And we get to Valentine's Day, and it's like the coldest day of the year. And I mean, this guy's like booked, like he can't reschedule. And he calls me up, and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You wouldn't even catch anything. It's like 6 degrees out here." So
man.
And then I'm like, "Well, I leave for spring training, and I'm gonna be gone for 6 months." So didn't get it done. But I need to talk to him. I need to talk to him about it again. I need to get out there.
Yeah. Wow. So what about, did you get to do you said you got to do a little fishing, right? In spring training in Florida?
There's a lot of fish down there. Yeah. Well, down there, I was looking for the peacock bass, and I ended up getting some. Those are like you can look those up. They're like super bright colored bass. Like, I think they're in like Brazil, and they're like, someone brought them over to South Florida. They're only in South Florida in the country. Those are cool.
Wow. That's awesome. All right, man. That's all I got for the Galvanize with Gavin podcast. But thanks so much for coming on, and that was fun, man. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was a blast.
All right, brother. Yeah, keep up the good work. We'll talk soon, and everyone will be following you in your journey as you continue to head towards the major leagues, my man. We're all rooting for you. Thank you all for tuning in to the Galvanize with Gavin podcast. I hope you were inspired and empowered to reach your fullest potential in life. For more resources, visit gavinjohns.com. For businesses interested in sponsoring the podcast, visit gavinjohns.com/sponsor. Thank you all, and God bless.